Right.
But yeah, I'm not sure if that's something you want to build into IMS or you want to enable through
maybe you want to enable that.
I remember something about in the book that I read about IMS, about this public and private, but I don't really get your point about public and private. I mean, could you explain, maybe in more technical term, how is it going to be used,
because a
public and private
a public identity, a public, what they call a PSI, leads you to a service. That's the thing, right? A service can be a social network, or can be a 1-800 number, or can be a public TV station, right? That's a public service identity. So that's an identity that provides a public service, right?
No, I mean,
there is an internal mechanism in the IMS network, so that the network can lead you to that service, right? Because you are requesting the access to a public service which has a URI. So that the thing is, there is a link between a public service identity, which is a destination number that you are, say, dialing, right? And who will provide the service, and there is a mechanism. The core will recognize the public service identity by the requested URI, and will lead you to that service which is being provided by an application server as a front, right? And behind that application server, there may be a bunch of things happening, right? But the way to reach that service is via the public service.
So are you saying that this public and private public identities can only be owned by service provider, not by some individuals?
No. The idea is that the service provider is the pipe, the big pipe that brings you to that identity, but that identity can be someone else, can be a TV channel, can be another organization, another company, or somebody else which is not a service provider. So, because at the end, what the service provider will control is who reaches who, right? That is what they will control, but they will not control the ends, right? There is this user requesting the service, and there is this service portal, right? And then the service provider, which has the IMS infrastructure in place, will help the end user reach the content, right? Which is a public service identity, but the content can be controlled by someone else, right? You just agree with the service provider in the technical means to reach the service. You see? It's more clear like that.
And such a public identity, is it geared towards companies, or can a private person have one?
Private persons. So.
But it's, for example, I know lots of people who publish their cellular number in their messenger.
Right.
Because they say, like, my phone number is public. Not everybody does it, but lots of people do. So is it already taken into account that people might want to do this, or do you have to be a commercial organization
to have public identity?
To have a public identity?
No, well,
it doesn't care about that.
The thing is, you can have several identities for the same user in the centralized subscriber database, which is the HSS, right? You can have several aliases, and that database is controlled by the service provider. But in that database, you can even specify in which situations your
specific identity
you should reach the end user by which identity.
That's
so you can specify that in the user profile in the HSS, right? So the thing is, IMS gives the service provider the right to control those entities and decide if he wants to open that to the end user or controls that itself, right?
Okay, so this is for a scenario like this one. For example, call me. Okay, people shouldn't be bothered with all my aliases. They only know one number. but you can have your profile setting such that you will be ring on your cell phone from Monday to Friday, and will be ring on your home phone during the weekend, something like that.
That can be controlled
In the HSS.
or the HSS, the profile can be changed.
But that kind of setting isn't HSS. I mean, isn't it application specific? Somewhere?
Yeah, but it can be decoupled. What I mean is like you have a set of aliases and you have a set of endpoints where you can be reached, right? And can they be decoupled so that one alias at certain hours goes to one endpoint and another alias at other hours goes to another endpoint, or is it a one-to-one relationship?
No, that can be configured. That can be configured.
Excellent. Because then you can give your private always available alias to your wife.
No, the HSS is like a new generation of subscriber base. It's an evolution of the old HLR in of the old HLR in the GSM networks. The HLR used binary TDM. It was built on using the idea of use a unique identity, which is the phone number, and the
identity is the endpoint.
Right. But the HSS is the evolution of that, and actually the HSS is an IT server. Look at this like that. No, because the HLR is a machine. Iron, it's just iron, which has a very few means to be intervened by an external entity. But the HSS is the next generation. It's a subscriber database, but can be which is accessible using IT protocols and communication means.
Alright. So if I develop a service that allow user to change their availability, for example, I will have to communicate. My application will have to communicate with the HSS.
That is possible.
Using some specific protocol.
There is an interface which is called the SH interface, which is based on another protocol which is called diameter. And diameter is very extensible up to some point. So
they already have defined their data structure.
There you have yet another business model. If you make this subscriber database programmable and accessible to application developers, you can charge a monthly subscription fee for using that API, and then that is one way when you how you would be exploiting your user database.
Actually, that is